Welcome back to another update. In this one, we are going to be taking a look at this storm part two and probably the last part of it because tomorrow it's going to be the second day of it and pretty much the last day of it. And by the time I have a time to make another video, this storm is pretty much going to be all wrapped up and done. So we're going to have a quick rundown what to expect tonight in the Northeast and with the severe weather. I have to admit, I don't think the severe weather really um came into what it was supposed to. If we look at storm reports in this on this day, I mean, I don't think there was really any tornado official reports. Maybe one. Yeah, only one tornado report and 31 wind reports and one hail report. And today was supposed to be a enhanced risk in the Ohio Valley, and I really have to admit the Ohio Valley got spared today with the severe weather outbreak. I really think this has wasn't a huge severe weather outbreak. I think there was another confirmed tornado, maybe one or two tornadoes in total, but only about 30 wind reports, maybe just a little over that, and just a few hail reports. So I think the severe weather outbreak wasn't as bad as we were expecting, probably because of it wasn't enough sunshine in this. There are still some severe thunderstorm warnings, and this is the radar. I mean, really nothing to be so surprised of. We do have showers and thunderstorms across Pennsylvania. Some of these thunderstorms have been getting stronger. I have to admit, some of these down here has been gaining some of the strength, so maybe some more lightning, maybe some more of those gustier winds, especially in these thunderstorms that bow echo. Yes, it doesn't look too strong, but the storms that do bow echo like this, meaning that they are pretty much moving south to north or just a little bit to the east. Usually these do have some straight line winds on them, so I'll just be a little careful. And some of these showers and thunderstorms could be a little bit more gusty, especially this one south of Harrisburg that could be moving in the next half an hour to an hour. Um, we take a look a little bit more to the west, and we do have some of the heavier rain. We do have some of those supercell type thunderstorms, just very unhealthy supercells. I really don't think these really have that much of a shot of turning anything with tornadic, only if they become a little bit better in rotation. I mean, maybe the one north of just Uniontown might get severed if it continues to gain a little bit of that curl motion. If we look back in here, and you can tell we do have that little notch sticking out. So that means some of those winds are coming in and some of those are coming away. So probably some broad rotation in that. We'll have to really watch out for any of these to maybe try and become tornadic. I really don't see it. I think the best one will just be just north of the Uniontown. To the west of that, I think that is more of a plain old thunderstorm. And actually, a new scanner radar came out, and yeah, like I was saying, like the one north of Uniontown has that little bit of a hook, especially in that Monos town. You can tell it has a hook because we have that going into that, and now we have a little bit of that. So definitely a little bit more defined on the latest radar scan. So we might have to be careful on that if it's any spin up. Be careful on the one just near the Masonstown area, and then any of these just south that we should be taking care of, especially some of these just down of Morgantown, West Virginia. And this is the low level center. I mean, wow. This is that low pressure that's going to be going through the Great Lakes. And I have to admit, this is a very strong looking low pressure here, if you ask me. I mean, this has really become a well defined mid level slash new low level center that is going to be taking place. How I could tell is because we have these rain bands and this very sharp banding feature like that. And then we got one that actually goes in. So you do get a bit of a spin in a low pressure center right there. And that's probably actually the real low because there's a cold front behind it. So we'll have to keep watching how east that goes because on the her has it going into like central Pennsylvania. Um, Definitely the storm has was supposed to be more of a Ohio, but the low level center kind of has trended more in the Pennsylvania area, so a little bit more of a wind problem, I will have to say. And um, like that lining of thunderstorms, I mean, I said in the last frame, a little bit more stronger. Some of these showers and thunderstorms, a little bit more healthier. We still got that bow echo. We have to keep looking at that. More showers up in the New England area, and that is pretty much it in the New England. Some of these showers and thunderstorms will be making their way across. If we go to future, we go to like the 10, 11, we go to 12. You can tell these showers and thunderstorms will continue to form. And I have to admit, maybe by midnight, I mean, I don't know how true this is, but there's supposed to be some, I say, heavy rain to some pretty nasty thunderstorms across the mid Atlantic and um, pretty much the mid Atlantic and stuff. I mean, some of these are some nasty thunderstorms. I've been looking at this. They could form. I do not know how true it is, but some of these could have some lightning, damaging winds, and maybe a little bit of a severe weather threat because you go into like the two, I mean, this is a pretty nasty looking rain here. Some windswept rain and some nasty thunderstorms. I don't know how true this is. This has been showing all night on the future radar, and one way how I could tell maybe it could is how these thunderstorms are already developing here. They're getting a lot stronger. They're developing pretty quick. So I think that is a possibility where we could have a situation with severe weather outbreak midnight if anything does happen. We go into the National Weather Service. I don't think there's any severe thunderstorming in PA right now. There's only tornado watches, and let's just reset that. Yeah, no, nothing. Yeah, no special weather statements, just some flood warnings, severe thunderstorm warnings in that tornado watch, but nothing, once again, nothing too big of an issue. We take a look at satellite imagery. There it is. That low level center could be making its way up in there, so we have to be mindful of that. So now let's take a look at the HER, and we're not even going to take any care of the models at this point. Only the HER is it is coming out, and we're kind of getting more of what is happening now because now the storm has developed and everything. And they say there is a low near Pittsburgh, which showers and thunderstorms pretty strong there. What I can tell, it's a little bit behind. Yes, we do have a pretty much a low pressure. I mean, just a little bit more south than the HER model actually has it. Probably a few hours south if you look at the radar. I mean, I'm looking at some of the new scans, and these are definitely becoming a lot more of severe storm. We do have a brand new tornado warning in that tornado watch. Um, Capable of producing a tornado. I'll let you guys know on that. I'm just quickly looking and scrolling here. These are some showers and thunderstorms that have capability of producing some lightning and some heavy rain. But now let's take a look at it, and there it is. That low is supposed to continue to move north. We do get some of those thunderstorms and whatever is to expected. So maybe some thunderstorms and midnights. And like I said, I mean, low pressure, yes, strong, but not. I mean, we went back to 18Z at this time. We were looking at 976 millibar. So a lot more stronger, even a 971 at this point. I mean, this thing was going off the moon here. And I mean, I still think that's very possible. Um, and very likely still, but we'll have to keep a watch. How much more rain could we be expecting? I mean, I think another half an inch to an inch, maybe 2 inches, depending where the heaviest rainfall falls. Um, okay, severe weather for tonight. They do have that, like I said, that slight risk back into western Pennsylvania and about central, and then that marginal into eastern Pennsylvania. I think that marginal could overproduce. If we take a look at the HER model severe weather capabilities here, we can take a look at the convection and the stuff we need that could help us in this. All right. Convected, and let's take a look at the updraft for Hercules. I mean, really nothing there. I think this is just a scatter thing, so that's not bad. Lightning density, I don't think it's, once again, too bad either. Some lightning, maybe in some of these thunderstorms, not too bad. Echo tops, not there's some of these could have some higher echo tops. So some, once again, lightning. Most unstable shearing. This, there is some more to spare. I mean, there is some to still get in the area. Maybe a little bit more of a stronger. We're looking at the 880s. I mean, that's barely even getting to the blue. I mean, that's not really anything. Mean layer, cape, and shear. Yeah, nothing too much. There is some shear on the shear draft for this. I mean, we're looking in the blues just a bit. Significant tornado primer. I think the best is what's going to be coming now. Supercell composite. There is some in the next coming hours to be expecting. So I do think a midnight little bit of a severe weather event could break out with some warnings and flood advisories and warnings like that. I think that's actually a very likelihood at this point, the way things are all setting up. I'll probably be sleeping, so we'll have to look into that. But we look at the wind gust throughout tonight, expected to get a bit more windy. And this is actually the latest HERT, so my bad. Expected to continue to get windy throughout overnight into tomorrow, and a pretty windy event into the 40s and 50s. NAM likes to go a little bit overboard, I think. I mean, they have 50s really popping up here with 60s and 70s down there. I don't think it's going to be that strong of winds, but I do think it will be somewhat pretty nice. Let's take a look at actually the dew points and temperatures, because that's another big part of the severe weather. And I mean, there is still dew points that is still going to be heating up. So dew points are there, and the temperatures are very well there into the 60s, mid 60s, close to 70s. So that might be a little bit more of a attack on why maybe some of these thunderstorms could get a little stronger than others. Real-time precip. Let's just, now we're going to take a look at the radar, and then that's going to pretty much wrap it. So I mean, some of these thunderstorms impressively are looking pretty nice, I have to admit. The low pressure has kind of drifted in the last few frame. In the last half an hour, it has drifted a little bit more east than west, than north, I mean. So that's a little bit more of a thing. There's probably some gusty winds in there. A lot of rotation, um, clouds, upper level rotation clouds. Maybe actually looks a bit like a tornado. It's not a tornado, but that's the low level center. I mean, some of these thunderstorms are popping off, and we'll have to really take a look at that, especially in the midnight. What they're calling for, I do think maybe it's a bit more possible now. And is there any severe thunderstorm warnings before I go? And there's still that tornado warning in the mix of that line. Just radar indicated, and it's thunderstorms into there. A lot of flooding, I have to admit. I mean, there's a lot of 2 to 4 inch amounts reading up in this point. But that's gonna wrap it up, you guys. See you guys um maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day, depending what I'm gonna do. Have a great night, and if you have any questions, leave them down below.